Welcome to PDX Garden Home. I am gardening in Zone 8B. I'm in the Pacific Northwest. This is Portland, Oregon, and this is my driveway garden. I have a lot going on today that I'm going to be sharing. I'm potting up some artichokes. I am planting out some onions. We've got some flowers blooming. I'm planting spinach with my daughter Maddie. It's going to be a lot of fun. So come along and garden with me. Let me show you what's going on today.
The hyacinth is bloomed out. The last time I showed this, they were still in these clusters over here, and now they've opened up. It's beautiful, those purple ones. I think, or perhaps dark blue is a better description of it. I don't know if I say that wrong. Right, hyacinth. I lack the confidence on it because when I say that word into my voice typing or AI, it never seems to be able to type it, so it seems like it doesn't understand what I'm saying, which makes me think that I'm not saying it right. But maybe it's just not used to that word, hyacinth.
That's fertilizer you see me putting into the pot, by the way, along with the soil that I'm putting in there. That fertilizer is from a place in Portland, Oregon called Concentrates. It's actually in Milwaukee, but in the Portland metro area. And Concentrates is a long time business that a lot of gardeners here will use to get various amendments and things for their gardens or farms. I think it's great, and their complete organic fertilizer gives me everything I need, although it can be a little bit stinky, as I talk about in one of my other videos here. They're one of the first seeds I plant, and they can take a long time to grow from seed, so I start their seeds early in January, if not the previous December. I like to eat artichokes, but if I don't get around to eating them, the flower that produces is quite stunning in the garden as well. Artichokes take up quite a bit of room in the garden, and in the small driveway garden I have, I may not be able to fit all of these in, but I'll try. Artichokes can survive cool weather, but in my climate, it's been hit or miss. You may have seen in prior videos that I have one artichoke plant that's overwintered from last year. I had 3 or 4 planted last year just for comparison. I'm growing the globe type artichoke here, but in the past I've grown different varieties, including one that has a more pointy top to it versus the globe, which has more of the rounder top, and I've also grown one that has more purple coloring rather than just the plain green. But these globe artichokes are the plain green leaves with a round head, and that's what you'll see in my garden this year. These artichokes were already potted up once from smaller cell trays, and now I'm potting them up again into bigger pots. You may be wondering, when would these be ready to go out into the garden beds themselves? They're technically ready now. I can plant these straight into the ground or into my beds now. Although I think we could still get less than 40 degrees out here. It could get quite cold potentially before May. It's not going to be a hard freeze for an extended period of time. At least that's my prediction. And these plants should be able to handle a bit of frost or a short freeze in any case. The reason I'm not planting these artichokes straight into the garden beds now is because I'm still planning what goes on in these garden beds, and because these artichokes will take up so much space, I don't want to make a decision that takes up a bunch of space about the overall placement of all the things that go in my garden just by default. Like if I put the artichokes in the ground now, then I default to having to place other plants in and around the artichokes rather than deciding how the whole thing should be laid out. I'd rather wait till I have a better vision of everything else, and then I can see what's going to go in, and I can put the artichokes in at that time. That's kind of how I like to plant out everything. I often will save plants beyond when they otherwise would be ready to go in the ground, so I have essentially a complete palette to choose from, and then I can go decorate the garden bed with my palette of choice. So these artichokes, they're getting potted up to add to my palette, and what I can use then later in my vision of how to plant out the bed. I'll do all that a little bit later.
First garden task of the morning, check out the seedlings. Uh-oh, look at this one. Flowering already? What is that? Oh, the bok choy. Yeah. Man, I constantly have that problem. My bok choy flowering, and this is even a different set of seeds. So it's definitely me, the way I'm growing it. I've been fairly lazy in how I grow my seeds in terms of watering. What I would do is just kind of fill the basin with water, which I don't have now. And that's led to kind of everything being oversaturated, and then moss grows. And honestly, it's not that big of a problem, but I'm curious as to whether I can overcome that. If this happened very early on and before sprouting, it would be like dampening off. It might prevent the seeds from germinating, but it didn't here in this case. These are peppers here, and they're on track in terms of their overall growth for where they're at right now. I guess my overall question is, if I was more diligent about the watering and just came in here and watered as needed, lightly, and didn't overwater or overfill the base, I suppose, is what I'm getting at, would I avoid some of that? Maybe. I mean, right now the basins are dry, but the soil is reasonably damp. So maybe that means I wait. I'll check it again later this afternoon just to make sure I'm not estimating wrong, but it might mean that I'm waiting until tomorrow before I water. And if I just water just in time as needed, maybe that'll be a better result. It's definitely more hands-on.
I need to put this tray of carnations out in the sun. They look like they're pretty much ready to plant out. I just haven't decided where to put them, whether to put them in other pots or in a bed somewhere. This is a delphinium, which I overwintered. I had it under the potting bench to keep it from getting too waterlogged and too much weather hitting it. Essentially, it's a little bit more protected there. But I think it's ready now. It can come out here in the sun, and we'll see if we get some blooms this coming season. This is where I'm going to plant the sweet peas. So these are the Walla Walla onions grown from seed, which are now I'm ready to go put into the garden. With onions, I do actually use a bit of complete organic fertilizer, which is what you'll see me dusting into the holes that I'm planting the onions in here. I'm just making small indentations because you want to plant them pretty shallow. Ideally, you want the bulbs themselves to stay above the soil and just get the roots into the soil. That's very tricky to do when the seedlings are at this stage, at least for me. When the whole plug comes out with the soil, that's perfect because I can just put that whole thing in the ground. When it comes out as just the bulb, that's the tricky part, like that, because now I got to just put the little roots in there somehow. At least that's my experience. I don't know if the rest of you are the same. If you get the bulb buried too much, then it seems like it just doesn't grow or it grows small. Put in the comments down below if you've had similar or different experience. I'd love to hear about it. There's 2 growing in this cell tray, but I'm okay with that. I just plant them as is, both together. Essentially, we would call multi-sow. The bulbs might be a little bit smaller that way, but in my experience, I don't really notice if they're really that much smaller than they otherwise might have been. I like to interplant my onions between other veggies and in order to try to confuse the pests. I don't know exactly if that works, but I also just like kind of spreading things out throughout the garden instead of having one area that just grows one thing. And so I have some brassicas to my right, and then I'm planting these onions here, and then I'll plant something else to the left of the onions, and then I'll plant brassicas again. So I kind of split up the brassicas by putting the onions in between.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide if I should get out here and dig. It's not raining on me right now. Or wait and see. If I wait till later this afternoon, maybe some more of this will just dry out for me. Which would make this more pleasant, because that's very unpleasant to be stepping in all that stuff while I'm trying to dig around. Yeah, I would say, yeah, that's very unpleasant. I don't want to step in that. I want some of this to dry out a bit. Okay, everybody, time for some more exciting, you guessed it, digging. I don't think you'll need your shovel.
I need a shovel.
You're putting in fertilizer.
I need a shovel.
You think you need your shovel?
Sure. Why?
Huh. Okay.
What's that cow?
Make some little holes here.
Ooh. Can I just fly together?
It's right there.
Behind me?
Yeah. Can you grab it? There you go. Okay, so you can put some. Whoop, whoop. Just put a little bit in each hole. There you go. Yeah. That one's all used up. Okay, I'll get you some more.
My fertilizer. Turn it up.
Let me finish the holes and I'll get you some more fertilizer. Okay, Maddie? Okay. I'm gonna sneak past you here. That's the fertilizer.
Oh.
Smells like fish.
Ew.
It's got fish poop in this fertilizer. Well, not all in one hole. Okay, Dad'll spread it out now.
Ew.
That's fine. Okay.
Ew. Ew. Ew.
Yeah, ew.
Okay. Now Dad's gonna. You ready to put plants in the holes? These are spinach plants. Here. You want to put this in the hole?
I should be ew.
Here.
There's the
Well, Maddie, grab it by the dirt, not by the. Don't grab it by the stem or you'll hurt it. You gotta grab it by the roots, by the dirt. Down here. Grab it where. There you go. Grab it there. Yep. Put it in the hole. You don't like the fertilizer now?
No.
Do you want Dad to do this on his own?
I gotta get out here.
Spinach planted in the pea tub. Now I gotta figure out what I'm gonna plant over here. Okay, evening check of the seedlings. Still feeling moist in there. This one actually still has dampness in the tray itself. And here, up here it's moist. Turn it around. These here are lobelias. Kind of moist, but they're kind of starting to feel like they're drying out. So I think by tomorrow morning it'll likely need. Now this is just, this is dried out over here actually, which means this probably does need some moisture here. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so I think this one, the beets here need some moisture. So I'll give them some moisture. I'm gonna get rid of the Tokyo white that never germinated anyway. Well, thank you for joining me today here at PDX Garden Home and the Driveway Garden. I enjoy doing this. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I will see you in the next video.